primarily. I also do content creation for a number of companies. My biggest client is Snowboard Canada magazine, and that project has been a relaunch, actually. Some of you might have a copy of our first magazine back since a recent couple of roadblocks in the grab bags there. Feel free to grab them.
Yeah, it is 100%, but
since we've been
it's
working
plugged
on
in.
that, we've had some really exciting integrations between the print and social digital worlds. We've done some campaigns with
That'll be remote.
Music Festival, and we're working out links on some exciting new stuff with some exciting art companies even. But I'm not here to talk about that. I am here to introduce Doyle Buehler, who's come all the way from Perth, Australia. He is a Canadian, and he does still spend a lot of time in Canada. I had the chance to talk to him for about 10 minutes yesterday and get a bit of his story. I'm not going to spoil it, and we'll let him take it from here if you're ready, Doyle.
I'm all set, yes.
Okay, well, without further ado, give me a hand and welcome Doyle.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, I am from Perth, but as you can tell, I do have still a Canadian accent. I've been living there for about 6 years, and sort of talking and spreading the message about digital and online and how we can be better at business and how we can sort of improve the way that we go and that sort of thing. So what I want to talk to you about is taking the mechanics of marketing. We've learned a lot of some amazing things here and how to do this and how to do that, and some like great, brilliant ideas, and I know I've written down a lot of notes and that sort of thing. But I want to show you some of the specifics, right? Yes, we can have social media. Yes, we can have great visuals. Yes, we can have fantastic videos. But what do you actually do with them? How do you actually put those into play? How do you actually make a business? And that's what's key here. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about, is connecting those digital pieces of your digital platform together so that you can, in fact, show more and do more and have more and grow your business that way. So I've been involved in business, a couple of startups, e-commerce startups back here in Canada in the early 2000s. And we were one of the fastest growing companies in Canada at the moment, at the time rather, this was back in 2008, 2009, and the fastest growing in the state of, I'm used to that, they have states in Australia. The fastest growing province in Manitoba in 2009. So I spend a lot of time with digital, I spend a lot of time with how do we actually put these pieces together. And what I found was that there's a lot of systems that we need to sort of be put in place first, and then we can actually magnify them, then we can amplify them. Unless we're sort of familiar with the basics, it can be an issue in terms of how we do that. And one of the biggest experiences I had was in working in Sydney with some large media agencies and that sort of thing. For a lot of businesses, I don't know what size the businesses are here, but an ad spend of $100,000, $200,000, which in my mind is pretty big money. But instead of actually, if they weren't getting the response that they wanted, what were they doing was simply throwing more money at it. So $100,000 a month, well, let's just spend another $50,000 and see how that goes. And I mean, yes, that can work, but for a lot of businesses, even if you have $1 million a month in budget, you still have to be smart about how you spend your money. And you have to be able to be prepared to take that to the next step. So quickly, some goals of this session. What do you have? I don't know if we'll have questions. You be able to have questions at the end, but there is the innovation panel coming up as well, and you might be able to ask some of those also. And myself, like Kim, took the lead from the great Kim Gars. So if you do have Twitter, which I know a lot of you do because I've been following everybody here, please tweet. And I've got 2 copies of my book coming up as well that I'll give out at the end. And yes, I'll use Twitter to pick the winner, so we'll make it easier. All right, so what am I here to talk about? Help you understand, like I said, this babble of online, because it's coming from everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're a marketer, it doesn't matter if you're a small business, it's coming from everywhere. And I want to be able to help sort through this. I want to be able to help you focus, help you find out what you can do and how to actually implement. So like I said, I'm going to show you some mechanics, right? Knowing that online, even 10 years ago, right? This is a brave new world. It's not really what it used to be with dial-up and that sort of thing. So we're actually moving more and more towards that with mobile, with VR and augmented reality and that sort of thing. So we need to be able to look at it. But just remember what it's not about. We know what it is. It's not about the selfie. It's not about cute kittens, although I think where's the bacon kitten on the bacon flying through the verse we saw yesterday? It's not about cute babies, right? It's really about your community. And that's key in understanding how you can actually build your audience that will grow your business. And of course, what happens when nobody buys from you? Well, get the vacancy sign on. And actually, I ran across this article a couple of days ago while I was preparing this presentation. And it's really unfortunate. I know the economy's in a bad spot, but 7,100 businesses are expected to close by the end of 2016. It's like, wow, that's a lot. But I'm going to show you a statistic coming up that says, well, there's probably a lot of opportunity missed just because of sort of where businesses are at. And again, whether you're a marketer or actually in business, there's a lot of tools that you can actually use to move things forward. And we'll take a look at that shortly. But remember, it's not just about the like, it's not about Uber, it's not about a cool website, having social profiles. You know, it's about that conversation and it's about your story. And of course, there's lots of things to overcome as well. No leads, no sales, no profit, right? Who's ever figured out a return on investment with social media? Is anybody? Yes? No? Well, you should be, okay? I'm here to tell you that you should be doing that, okay? Yes, I'm going to say that. You need to know what the costs are. You need to know what the benefit is. You need to run it like a business, right? It's not a hobby anymore. One of the things that does work to get those conversions is talk about the conversations, talk about the community, building connections as well, and that's how you're going to grow your business. Whether it is, again, an e-commerce type business or whether it is a service type business, there's ways of doing this that I'm going to go through quite easily. The ultimate goal, right? We all talk about things, we all kind of hope things will work, but we got to stop hoping that digital's going to just work for us. We have to go out there and we have to do something that's going to make it work and make it happen. So, who sells here online? E-commerce. Yeah. How's the results being? Good, average, so-so? Yeah. Could they be better? Yeah. Well, they always can be better. Who's doing it phenomenally? If I can highlight that. Who feels that they're doing amazing with e-commerce? No? Nobody? Come on, somebody. No? Okay. Well, hopefully at the end of this presentation, some of you will be able to. But please send me a message if you can. Remember this? Sell me this pen. Who wants to sell me this pen? It was a good movie, but something fundamentally wrong with that. It's no different than when you walk into a retail store. Do you buy everything that's there? No, you don't, right? You're there for either a specific reason or to look at something, to watch something, to see something. You're not there to buy. So it doesn't really matter if you feel that, you've got to be able to sell this person this pen, otherwise you're not doing marketing a good job. You're not doing a good sales job. You know what? That's crap. You need to be able to understand that it's no different than when you walk into a retail store. Online is no different. You need to look at things. You need to enjoy them. You need to understand them. And this is the sequence that I'm going to show you coming up, how to actually do that. And you need to update your selling process. I'll bet that probably 80%, maybe a little bit more, don't have a specific selling process. Right? How many service-based businesses do we have? Or are we all marketers? Service? Yeah, marketing. Okay, and just sort of small business or product-based business? Okay, couple. So we're mostly service. So you need, even though you are a service, you can and you need to update your selling process to match it with the digital age. And I took this picture actually at the, which is the market, Crossroads Market, that's it. And they're still selling VHS tapes. So, it's kind of funny and ironic, but there's still businesses out there that are really far behind. And that's where I'm going to show you next. If you focus on one number there, 46% of businesses in Canada have a website. Only 46%. Like, who can believe that? Does anybody believe that? You can check out the sources on the slide. I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. In Australia, it's about 60% of business, and even that, it's like, wow, they still have a ways to go. There's a lot of websites that need to be built, but they need to be built in the right way. And perhaps If more businesses engaged, as marketers and as small business and businesses, if more people were to engage you, say, hey, you need to get online, maybe we wouldn't be losing those 7,100 businesses in 2016 here in Calgary. So show me the money, right? I'm going to show you 3 steps, 3 simple steps to build a process to help you sell better, help you sell more, to create more conversions, to be able to do your business a little bit easier. First one is design, how to design a brand value sequence. The second one is how to build this brand value sequence. And the third one is how to maximize your brand value sequence. So 3 quick and easy steps. But first I want to talk about the elephant in the room, sales funnels. Kim made a great reference to, what was it, a launch? How many people have sort of gotten lost in the quagmire of sales funnels and launch this and launch that and all that? Is anybody here on that, or is that just me? Yeah, sales funnels are being used, but they're being used just for, just to really force you to read things and force you to do things and that sort of thing. We have to take an active approach, but we also have to be a little bit passive in terms of how do we create these sequences? How do we actually create this flow? And let's call it for what it is. It's not a sales funnel, it's a value sequence. And if you can build a value sequence into what you're doing online, you're going to grow your customer base. Because who wants to be in the sales funnel, right? That's what it looks like for most of us. I don't. And actually, as a matter of fact, the thing does spin the other way in Australia. Just so you know, I've got scientific proof. Online sales funnel, yeah, right, buy my shit. That's really what it comes down to. And while obviously the outcome is, yes, you need to get customers online, otherwise you're not doing your job, but there's a way to get them there that's not going to force them. They're going to actually see it themselves, see that they can be part of your ecosystem, see that they can be part of the pieces that you offer. Right? So how does it make you feel at the end? Well, let's show you how it's really done. It's called a buyer's cycle, buyer's value cycle. And that's what I'm going to show you in this. So the first step is design, right? Taking some steps to be able to deliver your brand value. And I don't mean just your logo. What I mean is the essence of your brand. And how do you do that? As we've seen a few times, there's 3 core components here. You need to know, before a purchase actually happens. Your audience needs to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And unless you have those, you're just a click away, you're just a swipe away. So you need to build those, right? And who could do those right now, right? It takes time. So there's no sort of overnight success with online. There's no sort of quick hit. It's a matter of building this value over time, building an understanding of how you get stuff done. And if you've been sort of in the circle a while, you might have come across what's called the 0 moment of truth. Has anybody heard of that at all? No? What it comes down to is that you have all these different pieces, right? You've got blogs, and you've got search, and you've got mobile, and you've got online chat, and you've got customer service, and you've got all these different points. And what it comes down to is that at one particular point, your customer says, your audience says, yes, I want to buy from them. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see how they can help me with my problem. That's called the 0 moment of truth. And it comes down to 7 hours of contact, 11 touch points, and 4 channels. So if you can use marketing to get people into that position where they're understanding you, they're hearing you, they're listening to you on your podcast, they're watching your videos, they're watching webinars, they're learning how you do things, you're sending them pictures, you're building this familiarity with them. And if you can do that, again, you're going to motivate that customer, that audience member to engage with you. And that's how you can actually do it. Because what it comes down to is, again, what's in it for me? Doesn't matter if you're millennial, doesn't matter if you're Gen X or boomers or whatever, everybody is for themselves. And you need to take advantage of that, otherwise you're going to lose out in terms of how you get that support, how you build that conversion towards your absolute business. What I put together is what I call a digital leadership architecture to help with this process, right? So when you talk value, value is so, it's fluid, it's dynamic. How do we actually nail it down? Well, here's one to help you with that. Look at your community, right? What are they subscribing to? What are they interested in? What are you able to provide to them? Look at your product, your content, and then of course look at your brand value. What are you actually delivering to your customer? And the digital reality is that most businesses don't have digital strategy. They don't know how to use one, and they don't know how to create one. But you know what? It's really easy. And I've got 4 simple questions that you can just ask yourself. What are we about? Right? What do we do best? What makes it work? And what value are you going to deliver today, tomorrow, and next year? And remember I said this isn't going to happen overnight. There is no overnight success online unless they're a scam. So you have to point out that value. What value can you deliver to your audience today, tomorrow, next year? And if you can actually follow through with that, guess what? You've just brought your customer through that whole process. The ones that are ready to buy and the ones that aren't ready to buy but know of you, and I'm going to show you how that fits together very, very soon. We've all heard about Red Bull, right? What are they about? They're not about the can, right? They're about becoming a better person. They're becoming about being motivated, and adrenalized, right? Who wants to be Red Bull? Everybody, right? It's a great aspirational brand. But you have to define your brand, what the aspiration is for you and your audience, and then you can move forward. So, what? Not everybody wants to buy my shit, right? No, not everybody. The reason why is quite simple. Would you believe that only 3% of people are interested in buying from you right now? Would you believe that? Yes? No? That's what the pen is for. Who needs a pen right now? Anybody? Well, you got one, so you obviously don't need it, right? The point is that you need to be able to put that in perspective, that 3% of people who are looking for what you have online are actively buying and ready to purchase from you. So what does that leave? That leaves like, wow, 97% that are going to buy my stuff? Can't believe it. No, not really. We've got about 30% that they're never going to become customers, right? For whatever reason, doesn't work, doesn't fit, who knows? It's just not for them. But that still leaves you with 67% of a market that you could have if you're able to move those people progressively better. From unconscious of you to aware for the future to open to you, right? Do I have a problem? Do I have a pain? What is it? Who's there? Who can help me solve it? What options are there? Oh, you're one of the options. I didn't know that. Oh, good. Let's find out more. It's a process. Again, it's going to take some time, but you need to spend the time. And just because they're not actively shopping does not mean that they will never buy from you. That's the biggest mistake that we make online. And I'm going to show you a few things that, why? Well, you know, how do most people deal with a nurture sequence, a value sequence over time? They don't, right? Who has a contact us page? Don't be shy, I'm not going to insult you. Everybody should have a contact us page, right? If you're not online. You're one of the 64%. Or no, what is that, 34? 36, yeah. About us. Who has an About Us page? Yeah, we heard yesterday, what's the About Us page usually about? So how awesome I am. I'm great. Yeah, you know, good looking, wear nice shirts, you know, that sort of thing. So contact us, About Us page. We're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. It needs to be more involved over time. That contact us page, it's good to have. Don't get me wrong. Don't take it off. But those are for the 3% of people. They've got the problem. They know who's going to solve it, and you're going to solve it for them. So they contact you. Easy, right? But guess what? 67% are saying, well, I'm not sure yet. Does that mean they're not a customer? Absolutely not. So how do you actually deliver this value to your customer? Through a process. Interest and motivation. What excites them? In this example, I'm using see more, do more, have more, right? What would you like to offer that from an aspirational point of view? The second step is enabling. What can they see? Be more specific. What can they do? What can they have? Then take them through an action. How can you engage your audience? And then finally, Here's the solution. So if you can do this, again, can you do this all at once? Possibly, right? But again, you're falling in that 3% of people who are saying, yeah, I'm ready to buy, let's go, I'll give you my credit card. It's right here. But it doesn't always work that way. We have to create a value sequence. Step number 2, building this value sequence. Pretty easy. First thing we need to do is we need to split these things up. And I know we've actually seen a few examples of this, and hopefully it makes a little bit of sense because we can actually pull some of these together, what some of the speakers are talking about with checklists and stuff like that. I'm going to get into some of the specifics. But you need to offer a gift. You need to offer something free, something low risk, something that says, hey, this is me, this is how I can help you solve your problem. The next thing you need is what's called a product for prospects. And again, I'll show you a little bit more detail, but it's something in between. It's low value, a couple hours of time, but it gets more information. And the last one is your core business. And if you can actually separate these out, what you get, well, you actually get the amount of time. You get these 7 hours, you get the 11 touch points, you get the 4 channels. So it actually builds upon itself, so it's quite easy in the end. And what this is called is an ascending transaction model. Okay, I'm a former engineer. This is technical engineering stuff, but I love it. It's good for marketing too because it shows us the process. It shows us some steps that we can actually take to help put these pieces together. It's like, well, why did Kim talk about giving a checklist, and why did Joel talk about showing some videos and that sort of thing? Well, guess what? It all fits into how we can actually put our customer into that zero moment of truth where they can actually make a decision on you. So the first one is gifts, right? Something of moderate value, free, no commitment, no risk. The idea here is to capture attention, that's it. Nothing more than that. You have to stand out some way. If you can capture that attention, you're ahead of the game. So this is, checklists, quizzes, how-to, podcasts, that sort of thing, 1 to 5 touch points. Moving on from there, up the value chain is your product for prospects. And this is a higher value, but it's still low commitment, it's low risk. It might be a workshop, right? A $29 workshop on a Thursday afternoon or something like that, or Saturday morning. What it does is it helps you develop insights. So you're showing people, I'm going to show you how to do this today, right? You're going to educate people how you can get this done. So again, webinars, training, subscriptions, assessments, free 1-hour consult, whatever the case may be. And guess what? We've now added to the touch points. We've added to the time that they've spent with us, specifically. So what does that mean? It means that they're becoming more entrenched into your value chain, right? Your value sequence. And the final one is deliver results with your core business. And it doesn't matter if you're a $500,000 consulting company. Doesn't matter if you're a $50 an hour carpenter or plumber, whatever the case may be. What matters is that you have a core business and that you can actually segment that, create a product as opposed to just a service. Why? Because then you can actually categorize it. You can create a gold, you create a silver, you create a bronze, all different packages that obviously exhibit the same characteristics, but help you in that along that way. So done for you. Done with you, do it yourself, training, whatever the case may be. But because you've been able to productize it, because you've been able to increase the value over time, you're actually able to create customers for life. So how do you actually build a nurture campaign? Here's a sample of one of the ones that we did for a financial stress campaign, leasing company out of Australia. Now you've got all this data, right? You've got all these channels, and again, let's pull this picture together. What do you need? Well, you got social media posts, you have blogs and articles, LinkedIn, you name it. You got audio sound bites, interviews, you have your website, you have your videos, you've got your employers, you've got ad campaigns on Facebook, and you've got partners, right? So okay, let's direct them to an active landing page. Let's then move them to a gift. Okay, download my checklist. And you've probably seen this, right? Who's sort of subscribed to a list or a checklist or Anything like that? Yeah, quite a few. It's quite common, right? But then ask yourself, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it for your customers? Why aren't you doing it for your business? Because it's very important that you do. So give them the gift in exchange for an email. Then move them into an email sequence. Email number 1, again, I showed you that 4-step process. What is it that you're going to move them to financial success? See more. What can they see? Do more. What can they do? What can they have? So you have to bring them through this process. And again, can you do this in 1 email? Yeah, probably. But the challenge is that most people won't be there. Only 3% will. So again, do you want to work with 60% or 3%? Personally, I'd rather work with the 67%. So you take them through this sequence, and the last one is then move them to the product for prospects. So again, you've graduated them. You've provided more value over time. Isn't that cool? Isn't that exciting? It's exciting to me. Here's a more detailed, and yes, I've talked about funnels and how confusing they can be, and yes, it can get a little bit confusing, but I couldn't fit this all on one slide, and obviously the time is an issue too. So if you do want a high-res version of that, just send me a quick email and I'll send it to you. Last step, maximize your brand value sequence. So what does that mean? Create and implement the infrastructure, right, to support that, to pull in all these pieces. So what do you need? Let's talk about 7 elements to maximize your brand value sequence. Number 1 is define your audience, right? You want to be able to hack it. You want to be able to create a persona, and we've heard about that in these seminars as well. How does it identify your perfect customer? That's what you need to look for. Second element is define the detailed process. And again, it doesn't need to be complicated. You can start simple, right? Start with one gift, start with one small video, start with some item, a checklist, or whatever the case may be, but at least start. And then you can add more later, right? And to hack it, outline the steps your audience needs. So understand what it is that they're going through, understand their pain, and understand how you can actually try to solve that. The third thing you need is landing pages, right? I showed you why you would need one. Well, guess what? There's lots of tools out there that will allow you to implement. In a matter of an hour, you can create a landing page if you have a good gift ready to go. And the hack here is test, making sure that it actually works, making sure that it helps you, and making sure that it is focused on your audience. If nobody's clicking, if nobody's downloading, then guess what? It's wrong, but guess what, too? It's also okay to be wrong. Because in marketing, as you know, everything is testing. Yes, there's data to support, but a lot of it is testing. Number 4, fourth tool that you need, email management. Easy stuff, right? This is where you can build the sequences. Who uses something like MailChimp? Anybody? Yeah, MailChimp, Marketo, Infusionsoft, all these different systems. Who uses like a pretty wow system that kind of does everything? Like Infusionsoft, does anybody use those? Anybody use like Marketo? Marketo? That's a couple, okay. Yeah, so you can have basically simple systems, but again, start small. It doesn't need to be complicated. Start with something like MailChimp. It's free or it's $10 a month, right? You build a landing page, you put it on your website, you get a MailChimp account, you pay $10 a month so that you can kind of route people in different directions. And that's it. Element number 5 is content. So deliver your story rather across all your channels. So have a clear idea, have a clear plan, have a clear understanding of what it is that's the story that you're telling to your audience. Number 6 is ads, right? Advertisements, making sure that you have those and that they do work and that they do support your business. Because if you're not using ads, you're really limited to just a very small group of people who are liking your posts and understanding your posts and that sort of thing. But move outside of that, boost it, create a campaign, you name it. You need to be able to spend to draw that interest from around your circle. The last one is measurement. Understand what it is that you're trying to do. Remember how I asked you about return on investment? Right? Who needs to actually analyze the return on investment? Come on, I should see more hands coming up. Return on investment, yes, it's important. Yes, I know it's hard because marketing is kind of a little bit fuzzy at times. And yes, it's hard to fully understand the dollar value, but you have to start. You have to make an effort to be able to say, okay, we can do this, or we can do this better. Yes, you have $100,000 to spend, or yes, you have $10,000 to spend, but how many customers you get out of that at the end of the day? And that's the mechanics. The first important thing, as I mentioned, was define your audience. Like you can see, if they like Subway sandwiches, give them Subway sandwiches. And make sure you measure your performance. Make sure you understand what you're doing and what you're not doing. So those are the 3 steps. Pretty easy, right? Design, build, maximize. Can anybody remember that? Design, build, maximize. Design, build, maximize. Easy. Just to summarize, we're almost wrapping up here. The things that you need, create increasing value over time. You're not going to solve their problems overnight. They don't even know that you exist. But if you can engage them over time, you're going to bring them to your solution. Build your know, like, trust triangle. If they don't know you, if they don't like you, if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. Create those touch points, the 7 hours, the 11 touch points, and the 4 channels as well. And understand and deliver your value to your customer, right? What's in it for me? We've all heard that before. It's easy, but a lot of times we miss it. What's in it for your customer? Making sure that you point that out. Build your value sequence, create touch points, create time. Then you're going to create your customers and trust the process. So what do you want to do next? You can download the slides if you want. I've got a few extra bonuses. bit.ly/Doyle Buehler 27. They're on slideshare.net. You can go and buy a book, or you can hang around for another minute. If you've tweeted, of course. Has anybody tweeted? Anybody? Okay, good. We'll have some winners. Can I go back where? It's Doyle Buehler 27. Or just go to SlideShare and look at Google my name. And yes, you can purchase a copy out at the bookstore as well. Last thing you can do is find out where you actually are situated with your business. I have the digital leadership quiz online where you can analyze 7 key factors to understand how are you doing with your digital marketing. Leadership.digital. Take a look at your biggest challenges. And if there's any way I can help you, please feel free to get in touch with me. All right, that was it. Thank you. Okay, actually I need 1 more minute. I got 1:25. All right, I wanted to give 2 books away. Cool. For the person who tweeted. Oh my God, there's lots here. All right, I'll make it easy. Or do you just want me to talk some more? No? All right, it's Alan. Alan L. Come on down. Thanks, Alan. Can I get a picture with you after?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And the second one, let's see. Ooh, here's a good picture too. Barry Duchak. Barry, come on down. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Happy to answer questions, not now, but after the event as well. Thanks. Yeah. Cheers, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Doyle. That was some fantastic information. That was great. I just want everybody to stand up for a second, if you can, please. First of all, I'm Kathy Randall. I am the Director of Business Development with Equals and Secure Events, a very proud sponsor at the post here today. And what a great couple of days.
This way so nobody grabs the wrong one.
For those of you who know me, you know that one of the most